Okay, everyone, welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, May 13th, and I'm back in the studio and actually on camera again. It's been a while. Sarah has already found her way up. Hey, Rel, how we doing? Yeah, so the big backdrop is done. I might be able to show it off on camera a little bit later. Monster Mania Baltimore went pretty good because my new coffin prints, I might have to rename it. There was a guy actually there that had the name Coffin Creeps, so I might have to change it from Coffin Creepers to something else. I didn't realize there was another company. And then yeah, those went fairly well. I mean, for the convention, yeah. And then of course sold a bunch of my other stuff, including Chadiana and the Kirkland Horror, Always good to pick those up if you haven't already and leave reviews. Sorry, I'm just cleaning up at the same time. What's up, really? So anyway, yeah, feels good. That product, the coffin pieces, might be a good investment for right now. Besides the books and everything, but it might allow me finally the freedom to work on some books without having to do too much without having to worry too much behind the scenes about other things. I'll have more time to work on the books with those. Anyway, I got Fan Expophilia coming up this week, and then Thy Geekdom Con coming up the week after. We got what? Those prints looked cool. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? Which prints do you mean? The ones in the coffins? Because, yeah, they turned out pretty good. Again, I just have, for now, an Orlok, a Cthulhu, and a Dracula. But I'm probably going to add more characters as time goes on. I have some new pieces I want to do. Hey, Jim, how's it going? I have some other pieces I want to do that are just for regular prints, and then I got some other pieces to do. But yeah, those coffins seem like they're gonna do pretty good. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It was Mother's Day weekend, so Sunday at the show was not very well attended, but generally, I sold a good amount of coffins for first time bringing them out to a show. They're a little bit at work. I got to stay in the wood before I add the prints into them, but they go pretty good anyway. And actually behind me over here is that witch piece you're looking forward to. Obviously not going to be able to draw her on the show tonight, but I might do a pumpkin witch coffin at some point. That could be a thing. What I'd love to figure out is if there's another three-dimensional wood piece that I could put some fantasy pieces in as well, but cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, where are we now? Right. Oh, I'm just going to remind people, anybody that's watching on Facebook over there, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because, again, coming up in the next month, I might try to do 70 shows, but definitely by the end of this month, I'm going to be switching over exclusively to YouTube just because I'm not going to be able to keep up the StreamYard fees since they've raised it, and I had it paid up a year in advance, but my subscription ends, I think, in July, but I want to make sure I cancel it early just in case I lose access. I'm going to do it in June. I don't want to promise that I'll still be doing Facebook and YouTube, but, for now, you got this. You got the both versions, but just make sure you go over there and subscribe. What do we got from Jim? Yeah, Cyrilla's back. She's been heavily on the art table today while I've been trying to get work done. So, you know, her usual antics, just all over this. I am going to switch over to here. No, not a solo layout. How are we going to do it? This way? I mean, you're going to be able to see her, right? Yeah, she's right there. God, I want to be able to show off the whatchamacallit. Hang on a second. Wait. There's one other thing that I want to be able to put up here. You know what? I'm just going to do it from my laptop because it always gets messed up on the phone now with the way that with the way this works. Hang on. I want to remind everybody too that I have 2 variant covers up right now for Gobbler's number 3 on Kickstarter. The link's in the description, but I think it ends Monday. It says 4 days to go. Yeah. I have 2 versions of my variant cover, a regular and a risque. You can get one or both. You can also get the original artwork. So please consider going and supporting the, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube right now, please consider bookmarking it and going over there and supporting before the Kickstarter ends. Helping me out too by grabbing one because, maybe I'll get more variant covers if more people back it. How many do we have right now? They got 60 backers. And I have backers on the regular and the risque. Where are the ones that are, oh wow, more on the risque than the regular? Any doing the combination? That's what I want to know. Not too many people, last I checked, had that. Nope. But yeah, consider it helping me out. Anyway, real quick, I'm just going to do a solo layout on this because I am going to bring out the big piece to show it off. Anybody that's not here now is going to miss it. I still have yet to put in the order for this so that it'll be, on my backdrop. But, well, I scanned it, but I haven't put it together on a computer yet. Let me get another light on. And we can go through it together. So, yeah, the whole piece is done now. All done, and all the detail is on it. I don't know how well oh yeah, you can see it kind of on her shoulder. How the colored pencils had texture to it. A little variety as far as the man. Still really blows out that color. Yeah, I just can't get those right. But anyway, yeah, there you go. All done, all finished. All the fire's been finished. If the light just wasn't competing with it so heavily. But yeah, there it is. I'm going to be taking it down now. If you missed it, just going to have to rewind this Thanks, Jim. Now, just because I was walking in that direction anyway, I figure I'll give everyone a little view of these too. So yeah, these are the 12-inch versions, right? You got a Orlock and getting in the way a bit. Got my Orlock. I got my Cthulhu and my Dracula. These are the coffin pieces I'll be doing, all hand stained. The original prototypes don't have anything on it, but I might add a description for each of the characters behind them. Everybody's going to have to give me time. One person, a friend of mine, had me sign theirs for them, and I already ordered new coffins, so I'll be doing these. They honestly don't take that much. It is a lot of work, but they don't take that much time for what I'm getting out of them. So, I mean, it's time consuming, but I can kind of do them in bulk. Yeah, those pieces are going to allow me to have more time for working on stories and languages and such. So, of course, during the live streams, I'm going to be mostly working on artwork. But yeah, pretty soon, I'm going to start filling in the sketch covers I have. Haven't got really many claims on. Well, I got some commissions, but no claims on the sketch covers. So, as the weeks go on, I'm probably going to start doing the sketch cover pieces, so I can get ready for Heroes next month. Anyway, so where are we at? Right. The main two pieces I got done to work on at this point right now are the Nosferatu and my first of two dragon pieces, which, I have to do a larger dragon piece, and I'm going to be doing another fantasy piece. Plus, what is it going to be? Awesome, Jim. Well, if you're ever interested, then you can reach out. I'll probably add them to my Etsy store soon. I just have to make sure I get enough stock that I can keep some behind in the studio, so I don't run into a problem where people are ordering on Etsy and then there's none left, and then I sell them out at a convention, and then it becomes problematic. So yeah, let me know. So what I'm gonna have is, as it goes right now, there's the 6-inch, the 9-inch, and the 12-inch. I showed off the 12 inches, and each of them also has actually, I have one Cthulhu, like a special one with a textured top. That's a 6-inch right now. Not a textured top, but it's got hang on a second. Yeah. as far as the Cthulhu's go. I do have this one, which is actually a 3D one. I only have one in existence right now. They're going to be slow in coming. Right. I didn't do the 3D. Mom offered. She's a good artist. So she'll get a cut of that if I sell it. Or when I sell it, I should say. I do have 9-inch Cthulhu's with no cover, but I do have this Cthulhu, which has a cover. And it's actually one of the few that's got like a 3-dimensional cover on it. So, and that's a 6-inch one. But, you know, if you're interested, you can reach out, Jim. I haven't shipped one out yet, but that's part of what I'm trying to figure out too, is how to ship them. But, you know, they are available. Pre-Etsy. But yeah, eventually I'll probably add Plague Doctors, a mummy, maybe the Pumpkin Witch, some other stuff, perhaps a succubi, something else. See, if I had a 3D one that had like an archway that looked very like South Asian, I could do like a Chadiana one, but unfortunately, I don't have to. We'll talk. Yeah, the 6-inch ones I have 6 inches coming that don't have lids. Those are 35. The ones with the lids are 40. You know, I'm not sure what I'm going to list them as on Etsy. It depends on what the shipping costs are, but you know, you don't have to worry about that, Jim. Partially as a thank you for all the help. By the way, that piece that I put your Itlani word for witch on, my friend Ashley is picking it up this week at Fan Expo, Philly. Haven't seen her except for on Zoom meetings, because me and a group of people are talking about some stuff for the future, some business things. And but yeah, I'm going to see her at Philly this weekend, so she's going to be the proud owner of that original piece of art. She claimed it before I had even finished it. So, but that one probably won't be in print form until closer to Halloween. Just like I'll probably hold off on this one until then too. I don't know. I still want to get a few animal pieces together, which is part of what the Nosferatu is for. Technically the dragons too, but not really. But yeah, I want to get 3 new fantasy pieces done this size, 1 Chadiana and 2 other ones, one of them being a dragon. And then I don't know, I might finally be able to make good on my decision to slow down on the prints just for a little bit. Not saying that I won't still do them, but I might be able to concentrate on some other stuff. The coffins, but the t-shirts are doing well too, you know. Not quite as good of sellers as I thought they were going to be, but they're still like a really good seller. I just thought they were going to be like I can't keep them in stock kind of thing, although I've had to do reorders twice, so you can decide. But yeah, I already ordered a load of more coffins just because of how well they did. And yeah, like I've been looking for something for years now that could be like the thing that makes me good enough money that I'd have more time to concentrate on the books and such. And like I said, the coffins might be that thing. So, I feel like I'm talking in circles now, just saying the same things over and over again. Anyway, yeah, the Nosferatu is part of my small animal series that I want to do. And then I also want to, like I said, do the fantasy pieces. I may eventually decide to do some sort of landscapes, not changing my style in any way. They would just be horror and fantasy landscapes, but just some old decrepit castles or, elven forests or something like that, just to add some variety. I'm just kind of excited because of how what a difference the coffins have made already. So, but I'm not in a rush to add more characters to it just because, I don't know, I've only sold a handful so far. So, because they've only really been at one show, I kind of did like a version of them with a pre-existing Orlock print before. But I want them to have a little time to get some attention as they are before I start adding characters. Maybe toward the holidays I'll add some characters. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, I'm just happy. Happy they went well. Yeah, no problem, Jim. I have done so many Nosferatu pieces this year, as would make sense. By the way, just an aside here, I really cleaned up the studio quite a bit. There used to be all kinds of stuff on top. I still have stuff in the background, but there are items I'm going to be trying to sell off. I just have some old, what do you call them? Items for like display and stuff like that. Display items. There you go. That I just don't need anymore, and I'll probably be selling off some of that stuff. Lightly used or barely used. But I just have to photograph them, and I haven't had the time to do that yet. I'm kind of behind on a few things for Darkfire Press. Part of cleaning up the studio is totally separate from the coffins and everything. I was just trying to get a little bit more organized around here. And yeah, I do have some freelance gigs I have to get in. In fact, there's two of them. One I gotta finish by tomorrow, but I can't work on it during this because it's kind of like it's for something that it's for a friend's project, but he's in the pitching stage for it, so I can't really even show off the in progress stuff. So I can't work on that live. And then the other one is for some stuff that, yeah, it's also for a friend's project, some covers, book covers. And now I'm so far into A Kid in a Comic with the Chadiana story that's running in there, which if you missed that one, shame on you guys. It was good. It's a good story. I still have copies left. of all the previous issues. But what was I saying about it? Yeah, I'm too I'm too far into that story at this point that I can't really work on that live. Otherwise, like I'm giving out spoilers on the story I wrote, which I don't want to do. Just erasing all of my guidelines that I don't need in there anymore. I'm pretty much ready to ink both of these. That I pushed that dragon too far to the edges, but I don't know. I sold out of my Batman print, which was good because what do I have? I have a few of the Medieval Spawn. I have some of the Ghost Riders. I have a lot of the Battle Chasers because it's unfortunately not as popular as I thought it was going to be. A lot of people don't know the series. But yeah, like since I'm getting out of the what do you say, IP stuff, I don't want anything that's copyrighted by, to somebody else on my table anymore. So because of that, yeah, I'm looking forward to like some of those IP items to be finally sold out for what it's worth. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. The problem is those are going to occupy a lot more space. I think I have an idea for this. Measuring out texts, measuring out anything is not my favorite thing in the world, honestly. But here we are. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Hey, we got all kinds of people showing up tonight. That's always cool. If I get quiet, it's just because I'm trying to concentrate on these lines. Where the heck is my I know I have another ruler here that's longer. Right. So that's like 15 and a quarter. I see. All right. 15, All right. And then we got these. I have to go all the way to the bottom because I have more text below this. Welcome back, Jim. Nice to see you. Nice to see you've returned, I should say. Okay. That's the thing. Hello, Sorella. See, the thing is, I feel like that tea. Tea should go over. Okay, so probably could get away with them being a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's see what that would be. Don't sneeze. Well, you know, I won't, but my cat isn't making it easy. How you doing, Rich? Sorry, I won't be in AC. I'm going to Philly. Going to Philly. For Fan Expo. I hope NJ HorrorCon goes well, though. I do. Okay. Oops. Here we go. What I'm trying to do is put lettering down there. Maybe I should move this down so at least people can see what I'm doing a little bit better. It's still going to have an element of being hand drawn, but I need the measurement lines for at least some semblance of, yeah. See, now originally I wasn't going to do this. Make it look calligraphic, but I think it might look better that way. Let's see. Um, the thing is, like that other Nosferatu piece I did a long time ago, the lettering's actually going to be white on a black background. So it might also require some additional painting after this part's inked in. Let me leave it like that. There you go. Sorry, I have it a little high. Let's see. This way. And then that we got then. Okay. No, that way wouldn't got them. This way got them. Okay. All right. Let's see. So that means this one and this one. Yes, that's correct. But then this one is actually supposed to be thicker. And that's the same way. Okay. There we go. Oh, I guess I could brighten my screen right now because it's not on my face. Can I move it back a bit? Yeah. Now the rat tube part, I want that to be just slightly different than the rest of it. Still calligraphic, but okay, so this is the thin angle, which means that's the thickest. So that'll have some. That's going to have a bit. There you go. And then that might have to come in, or that's going to have to go in. Okay. My idea is I want this to fit into it, but I want it to look like a cross. All right, there we go. Now, subtitle for the poster. I'm symphony. Oh my god, that's gonna be rough. That I might have to write in. So let's say if that is the absolute bottom, I want it to have, let's do that, 16 and 15 and a half. I know that's kind of measuring backwards, but so what have we got? I'm funny. Ein Symphony das Negatier Geti. Okay. I think we're looking pretty good here so far. This will not be as specific to the it's a good question. Do I want it to keep the same kind of format? What do those old Nosferatu posters look like? Original Nosferatu posters. Yeah, see, they didn't use any fancy thing. We're just using different type of font. Just pretty standard. I think that's what I'll do. Oh, that has to be an IE. Okay. If anybody can believe it, I feel like I've drawn enough Nosferatu related stuff to hold me over for a long time. I usually just do one piece every year, sometimes two. So this year I've done, I mean, including what I started last year, and if you include this, this is 7 pieces already this year. It's more than one a month right now. I might really have to stop there. At least for a little bit. Just to, get something else done. And Symphony das no get here. I'm pretty sure that's rat in German. I looked it up. But it's been a bit since that sketch. That sketch was from February. Ein Symphony das get here. Get here. There you go. But now, this will probably be painted on later because I want it to have some sketchy quality to it. Oh man. All right. So where are we at now? Past that, into this again. So does that mean it's time to just start doing the all the inking? Maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I feel like, yeah, hang on. This paper is going to be a mess for everything I'm doing to it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Just enough room for my signature over here. All right. It's all right. I have a friend that texts me by voice to text, and he's always sending me stuff that makes no sense, but I can usually piece it together. You know, autocorrect makes me look like a fool all the time. I don't know. Sometimes I forget what I've said where, but my old phone used to be great. We were like a team. It would autocorrect me in the best possible way, knew everything I meant to say. My new phone just, I swear, works against me. Likes to make me look really foolish. But it's okay. The worst is when it happens on a post that you can't edit or something online. That's always the worst. Then I must have went with rodent, you know. I think that's what I did. Probably because it was just a little bit less obvious than I'm gonna guess it's pronounced rate. But you know, that's probably why I went with rodent. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. No, that's probably the reason why. I'm sure it was exactly that. Because again, these were done a while ago. There was this one, which is one of the fantasy ones I got to do. Well, dark fantasy, obviously, and this was the sketch. I'll get here, so I must have used it. Yeah, for sure, it definitely does. Because if anybody doesn't know, the original, and excuse my pronunciation, the original Nosferatu subtitle is Ein Symphonie des Grauens, which is A Symphony of Terror. So, I was just doing a play on that. I haven't started learning German. I got through all my Hindi lessons on Duolingo, but honestly, without anybody to speak Hindi with, I'm only getting so good. I would say I'm like I have some ability to hear and understand Hindi, and I can read it. Not just written out in, I mean that I can read it in Devanagari. I don't have to read it in like the Roman alphabet. But, yeah, I think I want to do Arabic still before I do German, but I really want to have a good understanding of Hindi before I do that. And unfortunately, like I said, I don't have anybody to speak it with, but I really don't want to do something like have to go pay for Babbel or whatever. It's a little pricey at the moment to do that. So we're stuck with what is a very amateur understanding of Hindi. But I remember, and this is going back a while ago, what was the name of that? The Dev Patel movie, the one that he directed. I think it was Monkey Man. Really good movie, by the way. There were certain parts of the movie that were in Hindi, like flashbacks of his. Can't say that I understood all of it without reading the subtitles, but there was a little bit of it that I was able to actually know what they were saying. So, that's a win. Small as it is. Sorry. Doing my seltzer chug. Only because I had to close my window in the office just to make sure that wasn't too much noise coming from outside. All right. So I guess the big question here is, do I start outlining what do we even call him? If I call him Ratlock, that sounds like Matlock as a rat. Or Rat just sounds like Borat without the B. I don't know. I need a good pun. Need a good pun. Need a good pun for the Rat Orlock. Alright. That's what I need. I need an image of rat ears so that I can sort of. They aren't sitting quite where they're supposed to, but we're also trying to make him look like his vampire self at the same time. And obviously they're not that sharp. I guess I could put some veins in there for something. Extra texture. Alright. Yeah, I think it's about that time. Just get in there. Start outlining. Okay. Oh man, I wish I could open that window right now. By the way, I had 2 of these left, but that was for the level 2 one. make sure you go back level 3. Now I'm using it as scrap paper to lean on. My apologies to Carrie Ann and staff. Actually, I gave out all of my level 3s when we were at Free Comic Book Day at, what was that? Most Excellent Comics and Gaming at the beginning of the month. Was that my last show before Monster Mania? Yeah, oh my god. I feel like so much time has passed. Very little, in fact. Very little. Time has passed. This is what happens when you work full time as a creative person. I was talking to another friend of mine. I'm like, I forgot that people work regular 9 to 5s. Like when I'm at a convention on a Friday and there aren't people there yet, I'm just like, where are all the people? Oh, that's right. People work until 5 o'clock. I know that people don't work the same normal hours I do, but because my hours are so off, I don't even think of them as overlapping with other people's. If I wasn't doing conventions, it would be a lot different because then, you know, I wouldn't have that as part of my schedule. Funny thing, well, I mean, he was designed to look at like a rat, but the funny thing is you can still tell it's Orlock. The original Orlock, not the 2024 version. No hate though. What's up, Len? How you doing? Long time no see. You know what though? What an odd time to change this. This is because I haven't worked on it in a while. Whenever I haven't worked on a piece in a while, I'll end up making changes on the fly, which is never a good idea. For all you aspiring artists out there, just never change an idea midstream unless it absolutely has to get done. It has to be done, but generally speaking, you should finish a piece. You know what happens is sometimes, like, I changed this ear because I wanted it to match up with this one. But sometimes when you make changes after you've drawn everything out, you can like wind up changing perspective on certain things inadvertently, and then it messes everything up. Or you wind up doing it almost in a completely different style. That's why I don't ink things over multiple days, or I try not to. I find at least if I ink everything together, it can have a unifying effect on a piece for me. Results may vary for other people, but for me, that is what works. Anyway, Len, I hope you're doing well, though. Are you? Well, I doubt it. I know you don't travel much for shows. Are you going to be at Fan Expo Philly? Actually, driving back and forth from Philly. I'm not staying out there because I'm still trying to cut down on my costs. I booked my Heroes hotel too, so I got my hotel for North Carolina. That's going to be interesting because I'm going in on Thursday and I'm not leaving till Monday, which is like a never. I've gone in early for a show, but I've never left late. I usually leave the day of, but I'm not doing a 10-hour drive after getting out of the show at 5 o'clock at night, obviously. Just been busy. Well, that's good. Hey, again, if you ever, I could have just ordered one on Amazon, but if you ever see a deal on those sketch card books, I just want one. I haven't started working on them yet, but that's another thing to do to fill anybody in that's listening or watching right now or later, honestly. But I've been talking about doing warm-up sketches as sketch cards, and Len apparently already does that, and he has some success with selling those sketch cards, which was kind of my thought too. So I need a portfolio for putting them in. And Len also seems to know where there's some good ones for it that can hold quite a bit of cards. Yeah, just let me know though. No, the drives definitely can be killer, but well, 10 hours is the most I've done for a show, for a show. I just usually, because usually I'm not doing more. I think the furthest I went was Pittsburgh, but I was still able to do that drive in 7 with the stops, because I had to stop a few times. I just took the next day off of work. That's one of the few times, other than when I was still doing New York Comic Con, that I took a day off of work for a show. But yeah, I did it for Pittsburgh and just slept in the next day. But I'm not doing 10 hours overnight. Like, that's just not happening. Because 10 hours is the drive, which means I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to guess 12 to 15 hours. I'm at least going to take 2-hour stops for lunch and dinner for sure, just to like break it up. Well, or breakfast and lunch, depending on what time I leave. I think I'd like to leave earlier, obviously. If I left early enough, I'll do I'll be able to rest when I get there. What do you mean by black or color? Do you mean this piece or do you mean the portfolio for the sketch cards? If you mean the sketch card portfolio, I prefer black. If you mean the artwork right now, this is going to stay black and white as well. Everything is black for me. It's just the It's just my theme. I'm supposed to have this under my hand, and I'm not even using it where I'm supposed to be. What's that one say? The card holder. Yeah, I prefer black. Just because like white or tan or whatever, they tend to just show dirt easier. I mean, I clean my portfolios every now and then, honestly, because sometimes enough hands and enough travel, they start looking a little rough. But black just it matches a lot of the decor on my table anyway. So thanks, Lynn. I was saying earlier, it's part of my I'm doing a small series of pieces that are going to be animals. Guess technically my dragons will fit into that. Technically. I got my rat vampire, and I got my cat with the witch. Might do another one. Maybe I could do some mythical creatures at some point. I don't know. Thing is, I really want to stop producing prints at such a fast speed. On the other hand, there are certain artworks, like stuff for my comics or whatever, or freelance jobs that I can't really work on during the live stream. So we go back to artwork for prints. Although a lot of the print artwork at this point is also going to get collected into an art book. So it's got a double purpose. It's not like it's just going as going for prints. I want to get an art book together and the coloring book I was talking about too. So those two things will be on the horizon as I get enough pieces together for them. Really, what I want to do is get the rest of Chadiana done. Do the edits on Robert Phillips so that I can put out the new edition with the new cover. And then get another novel out and more Chadiana. That's the idea. That was the idea before I did the coffin prints, but now that the coffin prints have happened and they're doing okay, and now that the what are those other things? Now that the coffin prints and the t-shirts are doing all right, yeah, I can slow down on the prints and work on books again. It's been a long road. I mean, I've been managing it since I left teaching, but it's been a lot of work. I think I can finally have a little bit of calmness and reprieve now with the coffins. Maybe I won't need to do so many shows every year. Of course, I want my books to outsell coffins, but as an immediate cash thing, the coffins seem to be working. My books do still sell the best. It's just, markup on books is not as much. So there's a very small profit margin. That's part of the issue with doing them. Nothing against them. I have to sell a greater number. So again, anybody out there, if you've read my book, The Kirkland Horror, please leave a review for it. Good reads, and copying and pasting that onto Amazon would be great. Honestly would love to do some Kirkland Horror merch. Including, somebody brought up the idea of doing a tabletop RPG game for it, and actually it would work really well. Considering it was partly inspired by the game Bloodborne anyway, even though it's a console game, I think, it could translate well. There are ideas unique to that book that would make for a good game, honestly. Okay. Now the real question is, how do I want to go about doing those coffins? Outline them with one of these. I don't know. I used to use two. I used to use 3 tools, and it always made it so much easier, right? It was like fine details was the L1, large details was the 1, and anything that was more like hair, fur, grass, whatever, I just use, or filling in black, I would use the Pentel pen with. And now I got all these other tools, and sometimes I get indecisive about what I'm gonna draw. Chicken blood. Now this is a note from the Whatnot group, but I have to remind myself to. I forget if it was Solomon or Pogo, one of the guys on my Whatnot. His cousin made that movie, and I sat down and I watched it while I was working. It's interesting. It's an interesting film. It's a low budget horror movie, so if that's not your thing, I wouldn't seek it out. Otherwise, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. It's been really weird. I don't know if this happens to you, Len, and now I sound like I'm going to brag, but I'm not bragging, I swear. Because I don't know any celebrities personally. Not like bigger name celebrities, I should say. I guess I know some people that have worked in things, right? I guess I consider Michelle Santiago a celebrity, but I'm starting to get friends recommendations from actors I've known since I was a kid, their legitimate personal Facebook accounts. It's a little surreal. I don't know if that happens to you, Len, but it is a little bit strange to me now that I'm getting those. Not like top, like A-list actors. But, definitely actors that I know their work are starting to come up in my recommendeds, which is why I'm now thinking in the whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing, I think I gotta be 3 degrees away now. It's gotta be. I think I'm that close. Half joking. Which books are we talking about? You mean the books that I have to work on? I mean, well, Chadiana is the main one always. It feels like an embarrassingly long period of time since I had the last issue out, which has just never been my way of doing things. Even when had the rights tied up with Rosarium, when they were publishing me, I was getting out books a lot sooner than that. But if you mean other books, well, I mean, The Kirkland Horror is my second novel, which I put out in 2023. That's the last time I put out a book of any kind. You know, I've been publishing in A Kid in a Comic, but that's the last time I had any full book or comic issue or anything go out, which is why I'm a little bit embarrassed about the fact that I haven't put anything out in a while. But The Kirkland Horror, if you want to know about it, all right, Jim. If you can, make sure you send it before the weekend, because if I have to put one to the side to you, I want to make sure you get it, especially if it's one of the special ones. I have other pieces coming, not to worry, but especially that one textured coffin. Like, if you want this 6-inch one, I won't have any of those with the tops coming. So, you know, and the 3D ones are slow, but they'll be around again. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon, Jim. Be well. Okay, well, I'm talking about the books. Yeah. So The Kirkland Horror is obviously it's a horror novel. It's about 4 characters that are having different experiences during the last weeks or days of a plague that overtook a city. I swear I was writing it before COVID, but yeah, basically each one's in a different area of society, and no one really knows still what's causing the plague. It just drives people crazy and causes deformities with their bodies. And basically, through the stories of each of the characters in the book, each of the 4 characters, the reader kind of pieces together what's actually going on. I'm very proud of that novel. My first book, Robert Phillips, is actually really well liked. I just decided, I found a lot of typos in it. You know, I only had beta readers for that. I didn't have an actual editor. So a lot of stuff slipped by everyone. I think I had 4 beta readers, if I remember correctly, including one guy that usually does do editing. He just didn't edit it at an official capacity. No hate toward him. You know, I think he was just enjoying the book. Lots of good responses, just needs an update on the text, and I decided I would redo the cover, which I've been selling as a print, and that's been getting attention, so I should just finish the book. Anyway, that one's a very Lovecraftian. It's about 2 students who are at Miskatonic University in the 1940s. So it's a little bit after some of the events of H.P. Lovecraft's stories, if I'm getting my timeline right. It definitely is after his stories because, you know, there are some characters mentioned in it and stuff, but it's an interesting thing. Like the one, because, you know, I've read a lot, knowing how much I like languages and stuff, I've read a lot of translated stuff and I know stuff on translations. Anyway, the title character, Robert, is trying to retranslate the Necronomicon because he feels that there are translation errors in the English version, and maybe even going back to some of the other versions. And basically his friend who is the narrator of the story, kind of watches his descent into madness as he kind of obsesses over the book and retranslating it and stuff like that. There's some overtones of like mental illness and stuff like that throughout it too, because there's certain aspects of the book that you don't know if Robert's actually like having a mental breakdown or there's things like actually happening to him. But yeah, it's a cool book, and a lot of people like it because I mix in references to H.P. Lovecraft's work with actual historical references. So, you can read it and you're getting these actual historical facts while they're, also like in there with notations about stuff from Lovecraft's stories. So it just kind of has this weird, like almost. One of my fans described it kind of as like an oddly similar thing to a found footage movie without it being like a campy kind of found footage movie. It's just kind of like a story within a story, the way it works. So anyway, yeah, very good book. Just needs an update. I published it, I don't know how many years ago now, 2019, I think it came out, June 2019. So yeah. Chadiana, for anybody that doesn't know, since Len wants me to go through my entire library of ideas. No, you do, but I don't have a problem with that. Chadiana is a dark fantasy series about the title character, Chadiana, who is a wandering swordswoman. The fantasy world is more inspired by South Asian cultures. So Chadiana has a very like Hindu aspect to her costume and such. And anyway, like she's going on all these adventures. The series kind of jumps around, though she is, besides wandering as a sword for hire and helping out, she has a particular predilection to help women more than anything. But she's also running from her past. Not to be cliche, although I created the character back in 2012. So it was long before some of these things became cliche. But, she had a very difficult and traumatic past. So a lot of what she's doing is just trying to kind of run from that, including the people, well, the circumstances under which she was trained to be an assassin, and her father, who is deceased as of the events of the stories, but still, he had a negative effect on her as a child. So, yeah. First set of stories are, well, actually the first couple of graphic novels now are going to like jump around her timeline. And then the next two books I'm working on, one is a series, it's kind of like a trilogy of horror stories that which revolve around a once rich family, and just things to do with them. Each story is a different character. I started it long before the Kirkland horror, but it's not like the Kirkland horror. Yeah, there are different characters in it, but it doesn't quite follow the same thing. Each narrative is very much its own thing. The characters are only connected because of the family to which they belong or are associated with. So that one's kind of novella length, like Robert Phillips's. The other one, and I'm probably going to call that one Fenwick End, because the family is the Fenwick family. And then the other one is actually a vampire love story, not Twilight-like at all, but that one is called Annalise, which I also began planning out around the time of the Kirkland horror. I have two other novels that I'd like to do. Both are dark fantasy, but they both kind of hit some what do you call them? Some hiccups in the development stage. One is also like Robert Phillips, about a magical book and a castle that's under siege. The other one, wait a second, which is the one I'm thinking of? Oh, yeah, is also a love story one, but it's about a witch and a knight. I have a vampire illustrated novella I want to do. I have a fantasy/dark fantasy book series, which Chadiana is connected to. Same world, different timeline, different area. There is, what am I thinking of it? There's a post-apocalyptic novel that I started writing during Hurricane Sandy that long ago, but I never finished it. It is a really intense book, so sometimes I thought about never publishing it, but it might be worth finishing at least. I'll probably publish it, but I don't know what people are going to think of me after it comes out. And let's see what else. That one's about a family as well, but very different. Oh, geez, what else? I do. Oh, right. I had a idea for a cult detective, not obviously anything like we were doing with the Beast Len. In Victorian England, and just, I had an idea for a couple of adventures of his. I have a standalone action horror comic I want to do, just like a 2-part one-shot. I want to expand the Tainted Ones, which is the short action horror post-apocalyptic Lovecraftian vampire short comic I did back in 2018. So yeah, it's a lot of books, Len. Thank you. Probably not all of them. If I look back through notes and stuff, there's probably other things I can dig up there, and a couple more children's books too, plus a graphic novel adaptation of a very specific silent film that I love quite a bit. And I've been wanting to do for a while. So yeah. I wonder what that silent film could be. Steampunk. It's funny you mention that too. post-apocalyptic vampire children in Victorian steampunk. Victorian steampunk reminds me of another one. I started having an idea for another female comic character, which was more of a plague doctor nun type of character. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. If it develops into anything, maybe it won't. I just, I haven't done it in a long time, I guess, because I'm working from home again, but there was a period of time, Len, for what it's worth. And again, not to brag or anything, where I used to carry around a notebook for writing down story ideas in, just like little ones in my pocket. My God, the amount of things that I have come up with that are just sitting in notebooks that I've never pursued any kind of like further than just a little note. And then there's other things which did develop. Besides Chadiana, the Tainted Ones was one of those. My Ghosts Are People 2 children's book got published. The Kirkland Horror started out as notes, as did, well, no, Robert Phillips didn't. Robert Phillips was a long short story I wrote. I guess a long story. I don't know what you'd call it. I wrote years ago, and then I hated how it came out and didn't want to edit it, because back then I used to hate editing because I would just write from beginning to end instead of using an outline. So yeah, Robert Phillips was actually written once already. I forget how long it was. It was only like a 30 or 40 page story, which then I turned into a 100-page novella. But, yeah, I got a lot of ideas. I got ideas for games, including Chadiana games, but not just those. Yeah. I don't know. I need to buy some time back. Yeah, the notebooks are definitely priceless. I should just start getting in the habit of carrying one with me again, because to be perfectly honest, Len, and I've mentioned this on live streams before, I haven't, since I wrote the second issue of, what was it, the second arc of The Beast, and I'm not like calling anything out or whatever. It has nothing to do with whether we got that done or not. Since I wrote out The Beast, which was like June of last year, I haven't really written anything new. And it's had a lot to do with my convention schedule and just trying to make sure I have enough money coming in. So not necessarily the best use of time, because I really should be writing also. Yeah, well, I do both. I have loads of notebooks. Actually, I always felt self-conscious about my sketchbooks because I would fill up notebooks quicker, which is funny because I would fill up notebooks quicker than I would fill up sketchbooks with all my writing ideas. But I always felt more self-conscious about my writing. And I guess I don't feel self-conscious about it anymore, but it's still more precious to me than, say, my art is. Not saying my art isn't important. But yeah, I always felt more self-conscious about publishing my writing. But as far as like filling up notebooks and sketchbooks, I always felt more self-conscious about filling up sketchbooks, because I never felt like I was drawing enough in them for what I knew like other artists were doing. Some people would be like, yeah, I go through a sketchbook every 2 months or every month or whatever. And I'm thinking, yeah, it takes me, I don't know, I want to say 3 or 4 years to fill up a sketchbook. Did you finish the second arc? Because you only sent me 2 pages. Oh, as far as like the actual like writing of the arc, I mean, I could finish it. I outlined it all. but I was kind of writing the first two to make sure that you had it so that we could get it moving, and then I was going to send the next two. I think that's how it was going to go. Because even though we had a little bit of a lead starting into it, I feel like it still felt like it went pretty fast from the end of one season to the next, as far as how quickly we had to get it together, so to speak. So yeah, I don't think I wrote out the rest, but nowadays, because I outline my stories, it's so much easier for me to go back into them if I need to finish something. Yeah, so yeah, it's all outlined. It just might not be finished writing. I don't know though. Why do I want to say? I guess I didn't finish it. I definitely outlined it. That's for sure, because I got all the way to the end. Like I knew how that arc was going to end, and then it was going to be a two-parter for that because we were going to go right into. Well, technically, it was a three-parter. Season 2 is continuing off of season 1, but season 2 and 3 were definitely more cohesively connected, I think, just because the way you and I did it. Yeah, I can do that for sure. I can definitely send you the outline. I probably don't have it typed out, so I'd have to type it up. Because I always write longhand first, and my outlines I just kind of leave that way. I don't edit them, typing them out. It's weird. What I do is I kind of like, write some themes and do some pre-writing and stuff like that first. And then I write the outline. Sometimes I have a general outline and then I do a more detailed outline, and then I get into writing and I make changes if I want to. Comics, it's a little bit different though, because what I will do is I'll actually I'll write the outline scene by scene, but then because I have to adapt that into comic pages, I then go through the scenes and decide what scenes are going to be on what pages, because the way I do scenes or story beats in my outlines do not always translate perfectly to every scene as a page kind of thing. So I kind of outline twice when it's a comic. What's funny about that is I used to mistakenly say how easy comic writing was. Not mistakenly. It's a different beast, but before I was into the outlining aspect, I definitely tackled it differently, but I was also writing much shorter stuff since I started out by doing anthology work for comics, It's not that way anymore, necessarily. Well, a kid in a comic is technically anthology work, but you know what I mean. Okay. I have like such a standard way of drawing Orlok now that I can just stick a rat head on him, and everything else just kind of comes together because it's like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. Like the outfit just kind of gets inked relatively the same all the time. Not in a bad. I have a formula. Like I have an Orlock drawing formula at this point, almost as if he was my own character. I said it to somebody once, very recently, that even though I designed Chadiana, and it owing a lot to the fact that Orlock, of course, is just wearing all black. Even though Chadiana is very easy to draw for me, Orlock might be easier to draw. I just have such a working memory of how to draw him that it's like, if I really had to hammer out a Orlock piece fast, I could do it, And I have. I've had one of the best Orlock commissions I did it at the end of Terrificon this past year for a guy who was there helping out. I think the scouts were there. And a lot of scout leaders were doing volunteer, got the scouts there for volunteer hours. So it was one of the scout leaders. And yeah, man, I got that done so quick for him. Luckily, I have a picture of it. It's on my website. I'm slowly updating my art portfolios there. So it's under my commission examples, under the 6x8s or whatever it is, the medium size examples. So yeah, should have been working on this one a while ago. It's really not the hardest thing in the world to finish. Right. Oh, wow. This time flew by so quick. I can't believe it's almost 10 o'clock already. It's usually when I finish up. That's crazy. It's crazy. Oh my God. All right. Oh, so came off camera a little bit. So we're looking pretty good with him. By the way, everyone, again, we're getting toward the end of the show. Whoops. Just want to remind people, go back Gobblers on Kickstarter right now, because I have my, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, I have my variant cover up on that. It's level 2, but 3 now. It's now level 3. Level 3. I have 2 versions of my variant cover on there. Gobblers. Risque and a regular. Plus you can get the pair together. Plus you can get the original artwork. And if you're going to be in Philadelphia or in the area of Philadelphia, either of the next 2 weekends, either one, because I'm going to be at Fan Expo Philly this weekend, and I'm going to be at Geekdom Con next weekend. Fan Expo Philly is in the Philadelphia Convention Center. I don't know what it's called, but it's in Philadelphia. The other one, by Geekdom Con next weekend, is in the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, which is in Oaks, Pennsylvania. About really like 40 minutes out of Philly. And then, yeah, I'll be in New Jersey a bit, Heroes Con, but June I'll be mostly in New Jersey, a little bit of Pennsylvania. I forgot about Altoona and Heroes, but yeah, mostly New Jersey in June, including Garden State, which you and I will be at then. Anyway, everyone, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the likes and the comments today. I see there's been quite a bit over there. And yeah, who knows? This might be done by the time next week rolls around, but maybe not. Maybe I'll work on it again. Or I'll be working on this one, or I'll be getting to one of the new pieces. Or I'll be doing a sketch cover so I can get ready for Heroes in a month. Anyway, take care, everyone. Have a good where are we going? Have a good evening. Have a good weekend if you're not weekending anywhere, or if you are. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Have a good night.